Hey guys, Sean here. And tonight I'm going to do my review on the 2003 movie Daredevil. Now, before I begin, I want to, fix something I had said back in June when I did my DVD collection review. Now, what was that? Maybe someday I'll review Daredevil, because there are some stuff on it I'd like to talk about. Yeah. So, I want to fix what I said because I recently watched the DVD again, the theatrical DVD again, and it apparently was not as I remember it. Because the way I remembered it being was that or at least part of the Tazio subplot was actually in the theatrical cut. Well, apparently I was wrong, so you guys can just forget what I said back then. But anyway, so I will review the movie pretty much as is and probably talk about some differences between the cuts. So this is a 2003 superhero movie, written and directed by Mark Steven Johnson, who would go on to do Ghost Rider, and I will probably review that movie at some point as well. Don't quote me on that one. But anyway, this movie stars, let's see, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Gardner, Michael Clark Duncan, may he rest in peace, Colin Farrell, Joe Padagliano, I don't know his name, Jon Favreau, who directed the first two Iron Man movies, David Keith. The score was done by Graham Movell, and music was supervised by Dave Jordan, who I think has supervised most of the Marvel movies. So yeah, I do think my overall thoughts on this movie is I find it very enjoyable. I think the cast does very well with their parts. One of the downsides to this movie, and especially this cut, the actual cut, is that producer Gary Foster, apparently had much more control than Johnson did. Thought that the movie would be better as a quicker paced movie rather than a fuller content movie that may have some slower moments. Yeah, I think not. But I'm not one of the producers. So yes, I do think the director's cut is a much better version of the movie, though I do still enjoy the theatrical cut for what it is. I enjoy this movie in general for what it is. The actors are really good. The story, I think, is, as far as the director's cut is well told. This movie is basically about a guy who was blinded as a kid and has given and to make up his other four senses have been ratcheted up so far that they function with superhuman sharpness. And so when he hears something, it produces such a loud noise that he is able to see with a radar sense. And family drama. But yeah, and basically his father is killed for throwing a boxing match when he was young, and so he dedicates his life to basically fighting for the innocent. And he grows up to be a lawyer who basically defends only innocent clients. And he meets this girl named Elektra, played by Jennifer Gardner, and I forgot to mention that Matt Murdock, also known as Daredevil, is played by Ben Affleck as an adult, and as a child, Scott Terra, I think it's pronounced his name. He's from the motocross movie on Disney Channel, which I didn't recognize him at first, which I thought was cool. But yeah, Matt meets Elektra, falls in love with her. Her father is killed by an assassin named Bullseye, right here, played by Colin Farrell, hired by the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, played by Michael Clark Duncan, to basically kill Elektra's father and frame him as the Kingpin to basically get the cops off his scent. Overall, I do enjoy this movie. I think the director's cut better. I will admit what people say that theatrical cut does play more as a revenge movie than the way it's supposed to be. But I still enjoy it for what it is. Jon Favreau, I think, is great in this movie. So I think I'm going to talk about some of the differences between the two cuts. It means I stated my opinion already. In the theatrical cut, the Coolio subplot about the Tazia case is completely left out. So by the end of the movie, when Matt decides to spare Kingpin and says that word's out on the Kingpin, we are basically left to wonder how that is. And in the director's cut, being the Tazio murder case is put back in, it includes a scene with Ben Urich, played by Joe Italiano, getting a phone call from Foggy saying about Wesley Owen Welch, played by Leland Orser, and then the cops find Welch and get him to squeal on Fisk for a plea bargain, and so that's how it's said that the word's out on the Kingpin. Karen Page has 2 scenes in the director's cut and 1 scene in the theatrical cut, which I think is kind of cut short even. The director's cut adds about 30 minutes of extended alternate and deleted scenes, which some of which is cool and some of which is not. Actually, just kidding, it's all cool. Although I do miss certain bits from the theatrical cut being in the director's cut, like certain lines of dialogue and I guess certain scenes and whatever. But the director's cut is all around a better movie. I'm just saying that I've missed certain lines of dialogue and certain scenes from the theatrical cut. But the director's cut's all around a good movie. It's a better movie. And to you guys who are probably wondering, do I have the director's cut? Yes, I do. Director's cut. I just kept this cover art because I prefer this one over the director's cut cover art. Because all the director's cut one was just basically the double D symbol, and I didn't really care for that. So I kept this cover art because I thought it looked cooler. Do I have any nitpicks of the movie? Yes and no. Primarily my nitpicks come from this version, the theatrical version, and that is without the Tazio subplot and certain other scenes, not to mention the way the movie's the editing looks like thrown together and kind of mixed around, and what it makes some of the stuff in this movie not make a whole lot of sense, like Matt's motivations and the reason why he says that he wants to kind of end his relationship with Elektra before it even goes anywhere. Due to the piss poor crappy editing, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So basically just some of the stuff doesn't make a lot of sense due to the editing. Sad they never made a sequel to this movie because I would have enjoyed it. But I think it's mostly because of the reception that the theatrical cut got, and that's probably why they didn't make the sequel. Although they did make a spin-off with Elektra, but I've never seen it. I heard it's crap, so I'm not really going to watch it. But yeah, I overall enjoyed this movie. I think it's a lot of fun to watch, especially the director's cut. I would say check it out if you guys haven't, but watch the director's cut. That it's a better one. But yeah, that's my opinion. You guys are entitled to yours, so I will see you guys later.